Hello, everyone. My name is Sheena Lawrence.
My name is Joanna Baines.
And I'm Anthony Mercedes.
And we are the
Logic
Logic Models. We finally got it right. It's
been
a lot of practice. And today we're just going to talk about the article that we chose. We're just kind of going to split it up. I'm going to give a brief summary, and we're just going to kind of take it from there. The article that we chose was the contributions of health communications to eliminating health disparities. And in a nutshell, what this article is about is different health communications, different methods of health communications, and how cultural diversity affects different health communications. To name a few, they spoke about media advocacy, interactive health communication, interpersonal communication, and entertainment education, which I will get into in a little while, but I think it's the most relevant to this article and for this presentation because it deals with the media. So what entertainment education has been, described as is basically just, the media's way of spreading health information. And because it's done through the media, it's more accessible. And as we know, television is pretty much in every home. And because we're talking about cultural diversity, namely minorities in this article, I think it's the most effective because most minorities not most, but they don't have access to technology for whatever reason, whether it be finances or other socioeconomic, factors. They may not have a home computer or laptop, or community centers and libraries may not have working technology, but we all have a TV. So if you want to get the method out, you use a television. And I found a pretty good example to kind of sum up education, media education, which was the Muppet Cammy. And what that was Sesame Street launched I don't want to say a campaign, more of like an initiative about HIV and management and awareness. And they used Cammy as the, avatar or front man, not mascot, main character, spokesperson.
For a few episodes.
Yeah, for a few episodes. And what she did was raise awareness and, how to manage symptoms and how to prevent the spread of HIV, namely among young children in Nigeria and South Africa. And what I thought was really good and really stood out was not only was she educational, she was accessible because she was on TV, and most children have TV, and she was also very relatable, and she really eliminated stigma, which is very important when you want to talk about any kind of health behavior and culture. You have to be very mindful of stigma. So I thought this is a really good example when you think about entertainment education. If you think about something like Cammy and you're like, oh, that's what it is. So that's where I'll just kind of leave off for now.
All right. So unfortunately, the article did not have any theories present in the article, but the theory that we felt was appropriate for this article was the theories of persuasive communication. Basically, they just want to persuade people to change their actions, their attitude, to consciously make sense of things and to apply logic. And so with with the theory, the model that we felt was appropriate from the theory is a communication persuasion matrix. There are 6 steps, which are exposure, persons, they got the message, attention, persons, they recognize the message, comprehension, person understand the message, acceptance, persons agrees with the message, retention, they know who gave them the message, and they know the message, basically. And actions, they're changing their behavior. So this theory can be applied, as Sheena has stated. It could be applied in the interactive health communication. It can be applied in the interpersonal communication and also the entertainment education. With that being said, the level of influence is the interpersonal level. It shows how family, friends, everyone that we see every day, can affect can affect our attitude, our behavior. So the goal is to help the minorities change their behavior, as mentioned, through entertainment, um,
And through the
internet, any method, any ways. So I will now move forward to Anthony.
So we're thinking about the example of application outcomes, right? And one thing for sure that we can definitely say is that because there weren't specific research and there wasn't specific things being concentrated on or evaluated on, we don't really have those application outcomes to really understand.
Not like a concrete,
Right. But what we can do is really think of like the persuasion matrix
Yes.
model and really start tying that in, right? And seeing why is it that these health communication strategies and the different ways even existed in the first place. And that the article did do. So the article did give various situations in which the different health communication strategies were applied into different individuals' life. So there was different examples of like the Cancer Foundation. There was different examples of specifically Black men, Black women, Hispanic men, and Hispanic women. And we'll dive into some of the statistics because that's where our outcomes are really coming from, and application outcomes of these different strategies is really bringing out those statistics to show that these things these forms of health communication actually work. So really diving into it, like we have seen that Black men and women, Hispanic men and women in families, right? So they are very strong, just like Sheena said, huge in entertainment education, right? And through the media, it's also been shown that health disparities are really extended through three subcomponents, through the social, economic, and political. Now, us who are studying, to be like really seasoned health professionals, really know how important it is to understand our political system when it comes to health. And one thing that we have to do as health professionals is really start understanding what it is to really effectively communicate what we call health.
Right.
And what our populations view as health. And how are we going to get that across through different means and variations. We're also thinking about the social support. And social support is also something, communication behavior that has truly been highlighted to not only assist in mental consequences within yourself, but also the physical being, right? And we can all say that there's been times that we've been in an environment, we may feel sick, and then the environment just makes us feel sicker.
Yeah.
It's like my mom. My mom, when it comes to cleaning and she's sick, the house needs to be spick and span in order for her to feel better.
Right. Yeah.
Kind of in that way.
Cultural.
Right. And then really bringing that into the specifications of providers and really understanding what providers and the role that providers play within social support. And sometimes providers tend to forget that. Providers tend to forget that there's different perspectives to take when doing health communication and different things to concentrate on. So really tying into that social support and definitely thinking about the different socio-economical and political conditions, all of that has been very strong statistics to show that all of these different health communication strategies that were highlighted in this article need to be highlighted, need to be expressed, and not only that, but need to be understood in order to do it effectively.
Right. So there was only one main issue, well, two main issues, which were culture, as Anthony has stated, it's a big issue, and education through minorities group. And it just makes it, the fact is that there is like a lot of cultures, so it makes it difficult to educate persons and to help eliminate disparities. So with that being said, the author recommends that health professionals, they should use health communication strategies on a community and organizational level to help understand the culture from all levels, and it makes it easier. And I'm sorry?
I feel like it also makes it easier, right, when they're collaborating within.
Oh, yes.
Which is another thing that they definitely expressed was that element of collaboration within those different levels to effectively do health communication.
Yep. And so public health professionals, they should understand culture, and they should integrate culture factors into health communication. So culture, we need to understand that to just see the bigger picture and to just make this place better.
Right. So the question is, well, how do we integrate, culture into this, health communication? So we were kind of looking like, well, we know what has to be done, but how do we do it? And the article actually doesn't have any recommendations for outcomes. So we came up with a couple of our own. Hopefully you guys agree, or maybe you can help us out and give us some more. But what we did come up with is, of course, cultural training for providers, just not only for their own knowledge, but also for the good of the patient. Because, it's, I think, would do no harm or always do good or something as far as the oath that they take. So that definitely plays into that. And also perhaps a cultural humility CBA. And what a CBA is a capacity building assistance. And basically you can have a CBA on like pretty much anything. But what it really is when a program identifies a deficiency in its organizational development and or its management, they'll seek out a CBA to kind of come in and, do education or assistance with whatever it is the disparity is. And the next thing was also, you have to assess your target population. Like you have to know who you're serving. You have to know who you're working with. So we thought maybe focus groups could be helpful, or, surveys, whether it be telephone surveys or surveys in the community or community gathering places, meeting places, or even if it's just like a little surveys, a short little thing where there's questions and they check off, what their health concerns are, or what's interesting to them, or what they consider health, or or do they even know what's categorized as healthy behavior. So any one of those three we thought would be able to kind of help them along in including culture or being aware of culture when trying to implement these certain health communications.
Right.
So.
And just kind of to wrap everything up, we've really walked through the different contributions of health communications to really reduce health disparities.
Right.
And we just want to make sure that it is very understood that understanding the whole person, from what you see on the outside to what you see on the inside, to what they believe, to what they practice, is extremely essential to
Taking
the
like a
effectiveness.
holistic approach to it.
Very holistic.
Right.
Coming into that comprehensive way of thinking about health is very effective and very important to actually bringing out all of the communication that you need to. So now that we have come to the end, please, if there are any questions, concerns, or if you just want to give us a thumbs up, you could definitely do so through Blackboard. Please, we would love to hear your feedback, and we wish you all good luck and a happy almost done with the semester.
Right.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Good night.
guys.